Fuck! Nice little snake here on the trail. He tried to fucking kill me. So watch him open his mouth. Watch. Ah! Ah! Yeah, you don't like supermotos? He's mean. You like donuts? Oh, he didn't like donuts. It's like, I'm getting the hell out of here. I'm totally against donuts. What's going on? It's Fire Guy 24 out in Texas, baby. It's starting to warm up around here. It's been like unseasonably cold. It's been real cold. It's like the end of April right now, so we should already be in the 80s most of the time. But it's like up in the 80s right now for the first time. And I've been sick all weekend. My nose has been running and shit. I'm on more Mucinex probably than the law allows. I've been chugging that shit like it's fucking Gatorade or something. So the next story I got about a friend of mine is pretty damn entertaining. It's about this girl I know, and just on a little side note here, she's been being a little pussy for the last like 7 months or so, and she just started being my friend again, which is pretty damn cool. I'm not gonna say any names, but her boyfriend is an insecure frickin' pussy, and he's gone now, so we can be friends again. That's pretty frickin' awesome. So she's at my house one day, and we're riding dirt bikes out back of the house at the place where I can't ride anymore. And we're a ways off from the house right now, and she says, hey, we gotta go back to the house. And I'm like, yeah, we'll make it there, calm the fuck down. So we're riding around a little more, and I'm kind of assing around, and she pulls up to me again, and she's like, dude, we gotta go back to the house, like, right now. And I'm like, what? What's your fucking problem? And she's like, I got stung by a bee. And when somebody says that, you don't even stop and ask them, like, well, are you allergic? Because obviously they're allergic, and they're not going to be making a big damn deal about it. So she's like, her eyes are real wide, and she's like, I got stung by a bee. And I'm like, oh shit, we probably got to go right now. Like, you were right. We should be hauling ass. So we start hauling ass, and we make it back to the house, and she's freaking out, man. She's like, got her hands all over her face. She's like, am I swelling up? What do I look like? Are my eyes closing? Am I swelling up? I feel like I'm swelling up. Am I doing all right? And I'm like, yeah, you're fine. Don't worry about it. You know, just fucking shake it off. Just sit, just calm your ass down, you know? Have a seat in the fucking chair. And my roommate was there, and she looks at my roommate and goes, hey, am I swelling up? How's my face look? And he's like, oh, damn, dude. Oh, you're fucking, oh my God. And she's like, holy shit. And I'm like, dude, really? Did you have to just do that? Like, fucking calm down. You're fine, right? So now she's really freaking out. So she grabs this, like, EpiPen from her purse, right? It's, like, huge, man. And I'm like, holy shit. And she's holding it in her hand, and she's pacing back and forth. And I'm like, oh, shit's about to go down. So me and my buddy Tom start looking at each other like, oh, it just got really real right now. So she looks at me and she goes, I gotta do it. And I'm like, no, you don't. Just chill out. Everything's gonna be fine. She's like, no, I gotta do this. Like, I'm reacting to it right now. And I'm like, oh, holy shit, right? So me and Tom are just looking at each other. And we turn around and she's gone, right? And we're like, oh shit. So we both realize she went into my bedroom, right? And we hear this pop like a freaking pellet gun going off. And we look at each other and we're like, oh shit. I walk in there, like, I don't even give a shit. I just walk in there, and she's, like, got her, like, pants pulled down, like, to her knees, and she's got this freaking thing hanging out of her leg, right? And I don't know if you know, but the needles in those things are, like, the size of my freaking pinky. And, it's sticking out of her leg, right? And she's, like, holding it as tight as she can in her leg, and And she's like all shaking and shit, like, ah! Like that. And I'm like, holy shit, that just happened. I'm freaking out right now, right? So I run out of the room because I'm like, holy shit, you know, I'm freaking out. And at this point, she's a lot calmer than she was, you know. She comes out in the living room. She's like, I gotta go to the hospital. And I'm like, whoa, what do you mean you gotta go to the hospital? And she's like, I gotta go to the hospital. I just put that thing in my freaking leg. Like, they gotta like bring you down off that shit or something. You can't just stick it in your leg and not go to the hospital. And I'm like, oh shit. Well, do you want me to take you? And she's like, no, fuck, I got this, you know. And I was like, alright, well, fuck, I'm not gonna argue with you. You know, she'd probably whip my fucking ass. She's a tough bitch. So there she goes. She gets in her fucking car and hauls ass, you know. So I text her and I'm like, hey, you alright? She texts me back. She's like, fuck yeah, I should have been recording that shit. It was fucking badass. I was in a fucking police chase. And I'm like, what the fuck? So she shows up at my house a little bit later. I was like, what the fuck happened? And she's like, oh, you wouldn't fucking believe it. She's like, I'm going down the fucking highway as fast as my car will go, like 120 miles an hour. She's like, I don't know what the fuck happened because my radar never went off. I never passed a cop or anything. Somebody must have called in on me because I was fucking flying. And she says, I see like the hills are like rolling behind me on the highway. And she's like, I see way off in the back there's like red and blue lights and they're chasing me, right? She's like, ah, fuck it, I'm just gonna go till they catch me. She's like, I was freaking out. And if y'all don't already know, that EpiPen is like, it's like that shit in that Jason Statham movie, Crank. It's like synthetic adrenaline. So she's like fucking, like amped up, right? Just driving the fucking shit out of her car. And she made it all the way into the town where the freaking hospital was. And she caught a light when she got into town. And she was just about to pull on the loop that goes around the town. And she said all of a sudden the cop car that was chasing her caught up to her. And then before she knows it, she looks up and there's like 4 more cop cars. They just come swarming in from every direction. And they like blocked her in on the exit ramp. And they start doing this like felony stop on her, like, get out of the car with your hands up. And she like leans out of the car and she's like, hey, come here. Like, I got something to tell you. And she's like, I just got stung by a bee. I had to stick this EpiPen in my leg. Like, I gotta get to the fucking hospital or I'm gonna die, right? And the cop walks up to the car and is like, what'd you say? He's like, oh, I just stuck this in my fucking leg. I gotta get to the hospital. And the guy's like, oh, holy shit. Yeah, go ahead. And then he starts bitching at her like, well, you're not gonna fucking make it to the hospital like this. The way you were driving, you're a freaking lunatic. And she's like, you were driving the same way. What the hell are you talking about? Just let me go. I promise you the speed limit the rest of the way. So these assholes get back in their cars and just leave. They just go the other way. They don't even follow her to the hospital to make sure she gets there without dying. They just let her go. And she comes back to my house and she's telling me all this, and we're standing out in the middle of the street and a police car pulls up from my town. Now she was being chased by the state troopers. Those guys don't mess around. So a cop pulls up from my town and is like, hey, what's going on? And she's like, I just was in a police chase. And the cop was like, that was you? And she's like, well, yeah, what do you mean that was me? And he's like, well, when there's a police chase, they shut down certain channels so people can't talk all over them, so just the traffic from the cars that are in the police chase. And she's like, I didn't know that. That's awesome. Yeah, that was me. Fuck yeah, you know? So she was all pumped up. She's ripping the freaking Band-Aids off from her IVs and shit. She's like, fuck yeah, I'm ready to go now. I fucking feel good. Like, you were out of your fucking mind, dude. It was a pretty crazy freaking story. But I'm glad it was over, because I was scared. She was more of a man than me, for sure. I wouldn't have stuck that thing in my leg. I'm a pussy when it comes to that. Alright, y'all, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.